Textual Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
AV Supply, this is Richard.
Hey, Richard, this is David. I went to a company called R4 Roofing and Reconstruction down here in Southwest Florida. We got your number from a trusted vendor who deals in doors strictly down here in windows. I wanted to ask you about stiffened metal steel doors or whatever they're made out of, whatever kind of metal they are. This is what I got. These are a cut-down door. They're 74 tall, 36 wide. That's a very simple metal door. They are doors that exit to a rooftop on a condominium. And so they're in a steel frame.
Okay. Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah. So far, so good. And they're a slab, and they are outswing because you're going onto a roof, right? So they're an outswing door, which a lot of doors are outswings down here for hurricane reasons. So you can't push them in.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's a code actually. For my whole career, it was always inward, 36-inch wide on the front door and 32 on the back, right? I mean, typically, get the gurney. Got to get a gurney through the door, right? And it doesn't need to be painted. It's just very simple kind of thing that we ran into. But I wanted some pointers because it is in a metal frame that we're not removing. I mean, that thing is in there. The building was constructed in 1974. You would have thought they were building it for doomsday.
Well, if they're using steel stiffen, they may have been.
Yeah. So, but it's across the street from the ocean or from the Gulf of Mexico, kind of Gulf Shore. It's a beautiful layout. For as old as it is, an amazing shape, man. They really put money back into it. So we redid the roof surface, et cetera. We replaced the trap doors. We just rebuilt them. But I need these two doors that enter to the rooftop because they have failed. Mm-hmm. So would you need to see any pictures or anything? I have plenty of that available.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that I need to see anything or I need anything. What the idea is to make sure that you get the right stuff. So
correct. Yeah,
there's a lot to unpack in what you said. So first of all, are these windstorm rated?
They will need to meet code, yes. So they need to be rated. They are on top of a building, obviously. That's why they're steel doors, but also being close to the ocean. Or I guess here their rules are inside of a mile, so a lot of the rules change. These doors are pretty simplistic. There's no permit required because I'm just replacing the slab. What they have there is doesn't matter. It's what you go back with that counts as far as they're concerned.
Well, yeah, that's not untrue. The issue, though, is if you want the opening to be compliant, it's, as you know, it's not just the door, it's the assembly. It's everything. Mm-hmm. So replacing the door only, I can supply you with the hardware and door to be windstorm compliant, but the assembly wouldn't technically be because of the existing jam, which was not tested as an assembly, as you know. So having said that, I'm not the windstorm code police, and I can order doors that are the right size you want.
Yeah, it doesn't affect anything because the way that place is particularly designed and how the staircase goes to the outside. So in other words, it wouldn't be flooding anybody's apartment if it did come in. It would actually go down the stairs onto the underneath parking area, the canopy. So
yeah, sure. I mean,
about that.
Right.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen before. So the last two hurricanes that we've had. So fortunately,
all I'm saying is, you'll have windstorm rated door and hardware. You won't have a windstorm rated opening.
Correct.
And if that's what you're looking for, I can certainly do that.
The jam that's in there is heavy gauge steel, and it's just
none of that matters.
Yeah, we're not
if it doesn't have the label on it, it's not rated. So, and actually, you don't need to be heavy gauge steel for anything. 3-hour fire rating, windstorm rating. It's how was it tested? You can get approval on an 18 gauge door and a 16 gauge frame, common material. So the question that I'll have for you is, what is the design pressure that you want to hit? There is literally a chart that I have that tells me what I need to supply in terms of the door construction, and what hardware is permissible based on the design pressure, plus or minus how many inches do you want to be compliant with. So the only initial information I need is obviously that. And then the fact that everything is, the size is odd, the hardware prep is odd, that's understood. You got a 40-year-old opening that you're going to get a door for, so no problem.
Right. So, yeah, again, I just, if we keep it simple, it's a 36 wide, and then 74 is the height of the door. Two of them.
How many pounds of force are you trying to
I'm not super familiar with the codes on doors here. I come from another part of the country, and This is the first set of doors we've built, other than sliding glass doors, but which is different altogether. So
it was a bit of an eye opener for me too. I'm from Chicago originally, so a typical would be 70 pounds of pressure. But the question more so is, what hardware do you want to put on there? Because if you say, well, I want to have, this is the hardware. If you don't want 3-point locking, that's going to automatically exclude.
I don't.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, because it's an emergency exit.
Uh-huh.
So it's a simple knob handle on it that they keep a deadbolt that has the key in it at all times.
Okay. So it's an emergency exit, but it doesn't need to be an exit device?
Correct. No.
Okay. Well, that's easy. I mean, the fact that you got a handle set and a deadbolt, that's actually low-hanging fruits when it comes to windstorm rated, so no big deal. Now, we could also do it in FRP, in fiberglass, because you obviously mentioned the approximate, it's Southwest Florida, right? So the problem with FRP with fiberglass is the cost is, the hollow metal windstorm rated, that requires a Bayer aspirin when you see the price because of the windstorm rating. The FRP requires a bottle of aspirin when you see that price. So if you know that they're not looking at several thousands of dollars for a single opening, then I won't even bother looking.
Yeah, I was looking at your website on the 16 gauge. I believe it was a $450 door at the start.
It is not windstorm rated.
I know that that's not the final price, but yeah, it's not what?
That is not windstorm rated. That's just a hollow metal door. I mean, if you don't need a label on there that makes it compliant with windstorm rating.
I don't need a label.
Then let's just
we can keep it. Yeah, we're going to keep it simple. Yeah, in this particular scenario, because of where its location is, it's not required, I guess, if we would say.
Okay, so then all you really need are just two hollow metal doors that are the size that you require, prep for the hardware that you have, and it's easy stuff. Okay, that is super easy. So
now I look at my pictures. I was looking at my pictures, and on the internal, it's just a knob set. It's not a deadbolt. But on the knob set, I think they have it in reverse, so the key is on the inside.
Okay. So, or it could have been a double cylinder to begin with. So why don't you email me those photos, because it will inform me as to kind of what you're looking at. Yeah, and
I want you to see it just because I want to make sure we don't have to do this twice, because they're not returnable typically in my world. Nothing's returnable, so.
And they don't make good boat anchors.
So 2 doors, simplistic. They don't need to be painted. I guess they just come silver. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, just gray prime coat is all it is.
Yeah, right. Prime coat, great prime coat, perfect. And then we would be responsible for the hardware, yes? You can send the slab?
I can do as much or as little of the hardware as you like.
Okay.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
I don't know. See, the thing with the hinges is, while they've been painted over a couple times and they need a little bit of rust treatment, but not bad because of the location, and that they keep very, very good maintenance on this building, I don't know if I want to get into removing them and taking the chance to try to have them fitted again, given the age of the building. And because you know how this is. Like down here, the roof tiles, the barrel tiles?
Yeah, they're in my house.
Right, you have them at your house. Do you know that every 7 years they change them? By law, they're allowed to do that. And what they do is all the dimensions from one company to the next are slightly different. They're shorter, they're wider, they have a lip on it added to it. The bevel is taller or shorter or whatever, or the color's been discontinued.
Well, that's the thing on my house, it's a discontinued color.
Yeah. So whatever you do, periodically, if you have a drone, fly it over your roof. Take a look at the roof. Because you know 99% of because they're just for show. All the real protection is the water barrier on the sheathing.
Yeah.
That's the waterproofing, not the tiles. They're just for show. They shed about 40% of the water. The rest is left up to seeps through, gets in there, runs down, goes over the peel and stick is what we call it, rubber membrane.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend being prepared with a die grinder or a screw extractor and get the screws out. Hinges are so cheap in terms of material. Since you're going to have to remove one leaf only, I just couldn't see
the guy I
not
got working on it
them.
is super, super skilled. And he's like, yeah, he said what you said. Well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I said, listen, I'm with you. I want to change the hinges just because I think new goes with new better. It's, you know, if you have an engine that goes out, you want to go ahead and take care of the transmission at the same time. If old cars is your thing, old transmissions pushing new engines don't work.
I have a 69 Skylark. It's actually technically a special, but it is a 69.
Technically? Okay.
Well, Buick made 3 models that year, the Special, the Skylark. It's like the Skylark, the Special was the low-end model, if you know Buick, and then they had the GS. And it was the first car I remembered as a child. My dad had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing my dad, he would have bought the base model.
That's cool. That's carrying the torch, sir. Carrying the torch. Love it.
Yeah.
I was unaware that there were Mustangs that were a half. 63 and a half, was it? And there were only a handful of them made between like April and September of that year. I saw it on a car show. I never knew that. Some lady had it, and I was like, that is badass right there. And she knew her stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, that car was sweet. Amongst all the other ones, too. But, you know, most of us guys are car nuts. Hard not to be. They're cool. And I see that a lot down here, and I see a lot of guys driving either their father's car or their very first car.
Yeah, no doubt.
All redone and decked out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Cars and Coffee is, I think, it's at Mercado, and it's the first Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, and you'll see stuff. You know, you'll see resto mods. I saw a Daytona there, and you don't see those around town very often.
You don't. No, not that particular Daytona with the big spoiler on the back.
Yeah, good stuff. It really is.
Yeah. There's something to behold, right? It's very race car-ish and right out of your Matchbox collection.
It is actually. It belongs in the Matchbox collection because it's so hyper race. It's
I had an incredible
Cool.
collection. I had an incredible collection. I gave it to my nephew. So
of Matchbox
on that one. Yeah. I'm sure
cool.
It's worth a fortune. Some of it was just untouched. I don't know. That was my thing as a kid. Some people with Star Wars figures. That wasn't my thing. I love movies. But I didn't collect any of the stuff.
I'm 2 years too old for the Star Wars figures, but my brother had obviously all of them. You know, had the Millennium Falcon, had the Death Star.
See, Kyle, my neighbor, had the Millennium Falcon. It was the most. I was the only toy envy I ever had as a kid. That and the Green Machine until I got one.
Oh, are you kidding me? Of course I had a Green Machine. And Tonka was my thing. Tonka and Shogun Warriors.
I wore the damn plastic off those wheels in no time. Literally.
Very occasionally.
We had a hill that was closed. Yeah.
Very occasionally on eBay. There's actually one on there right now, brand new in the box from about 67, maybe. He wants $500 for it, but it's brand new in the box. That's too. Mine was probably more like 76, so I wouldn't buy that because it's not the right one. But yeah, it's still pretty cool. Yeah,
and that would put me right in 1976. That would put me in Anchorage, Alaska. So, and that's where I ride the Green Machine during the summer months, which is only 2.5 months. Because it would really underperform with those slick wheels in the snow or ice. It just wouldn't go anywhere, so you had to wait till everything melted. So it sat in the basement. So
I could definitely put a hole in those wheels on the weekend.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they were the only thing that was anything that was durable was Stretch Armstrong. That was durable.
Yeah. You know, I don't know why there's not a big wheel or a Green Machine. I have no idea why those things aren't in, whatever. I was about to say Toys R Us.
Modern day culture? I don't know.
Yeah, but that thing was, I mean, my first bicycle was a Schwinn Scrambler, and to me, that represented freedom. It was my wheels. It's how I got around. It was everything. It was bigger to me than my first car, having a bicycle, because I could now get 3 blocks down, no problem.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm breaking out, right?
Yeah, breaking out.
I'm Vision Quest, right? Was that Kevin Bacon movie? Anyway. Pleasure talking with you. I got to wrap it up. I got to go do this. You sent the email?
I certainly did. Yes, sir.
And I see it right here. Sales, doors, perfect. Richard Howard. Okay.
Yeah, it's me. Awesome.
Okay, great. Let's keep rolling. And what kind of truck does it ship in? Does it go to a terminal or is it a tractor trailer?
Well, what you want is for us to ship it to my location near, airport in Golden Gate. Then the advantage is this. You don't have to be there when the truck arrives. I'm going to receive it. I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to measure it before I call you and say, Dave, come pick it up. So you're going to know that it's probably correct before you even come down to find out.
Yeah, and then I can drive over there and we can just load it in the truck and
exactly.
That's done. We put it in the freight elevator and up it goes.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I think that door is cut down.
to fit up there,
It was per the elevators. The elevators were much different in those days. I mean, short of a pulley system, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's still there. It still works.
2.
Don't. Hey, I'm 6'2". That's funny. It's true though. But anyway, yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna do that, and let me get with Dale, the owner of the company, and get this squared away and ordered ASAP. We need them ASAP. What's the turnaround time?
Well, it's going to be dependent on what you send, so I can look at and see what's required.
It's going to be real basic. I'll be honest with you. I've got to be right up front with you. It's going to be as basic again because nobody really sees it unless they're up on the roof.
Well,
which, is 15 stories.
Factory order from Seco, that's going to be 7 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Then it gets into a quick ship manufacturer, someone like Carpenter or HMF. Those guys operate on, we'll have to find out what they're currently operating on, but HMF generally operates on about a 3-week lead time. The downside of that is we need a coal shovel for how much more money it takes. My logic is the thing's been rusting for a decade, so what's the difference? When the price goes up by 80% and the difference is 4 weeks. But, I'm not the owner.
We're not in that kind of, I'm not in that kind of pressure. Yeah. I get exactly what you mean. I had the same thing with Champion. Some of their doors were like, particularly in those days, people were prepared to pay $16,000, for a door in 2009. That was one of our higher end doors at the time. But anyway, I get it. Yeah, this is a simple, what I would call a utility door, essentially, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a rooftop door.
Yep. But you never know. It was good chatting with you. Some of the camaraderie. It's always good stuff. Hey, so 7 weeks, huh?
For a factory order, I'll put it to you both ways, and we'll let the powers that be make the decisions. That's
you got it. I just know what the job was sold for, so thousands is out. Under 1,000 is pushing it.
Well,
$1,000 a door I think is fair if it's a decent door, but like I said, it's a rooftop door. Well, I'm going to give you the information. You push it. We'll just go from there. That's all we can do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate it, Richard. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.